now on to Sleep No More. Please do not watch this, because at the end of the episode, he tells you this message will make you turn into a sleep monster. Yeah. So we have these sleep monsters coming, made from this machine. The scientists made the machine, and they're doing so well all across the world. So basically, you don't have to go to sleep. You can just constantly work. But the creation goes wrong. They make an update on this other machine that's going to sell out to everyone. And yeah, basically the machine goes wrong, and all this sleep dust that comes in your eyes makes you go to sleep for 10 minutes instead of a whole day or whatever. You can do more work and time and stuff like that. It makes you less tired. Yeah, then we have the sleep monsters coming after you and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. They're just chasing. The sleep monsters are chasing. They're blind, so they're just here from sense. The spaceships they're on is a bit dodgy and stuff like that. And then we have the scientist, and I'm just lost and confused. Mark Gatiss wanted to do a sequel to this. Otherwise, we would have had a sequel to that in Series 10, and God, no, thank God we didn't. We had the Ice Warriors instead. Oh, God, this is horrible, and this is a terrible episode, and Pete Capaldi's like, I don't even understand. At the end of the episode, the Doctor's like, I don't understand, I don't get this. I just need to make sure the machines don't come out, and I guess they're just, these sleep monsters creatures are just on a spaceship now, flying. And at some point they come out and spread. So yeah, the Doctor doesn't even win in some ways, and the videos are not just like a normal cameraman; they're iVision camera videos, like a game, and it's just weird, seeing Doctor Who in a game format, which is obviously credit to them to experiment and do something different. But yeah, this is a bad episode to do it in. Like, I reckon it could work if they did it well. If they had a better script, then yeah. So what did I give this out of 10? I gave it a 6. I was generous. I'm not going to give it a 6. I'm going to give it a 5. 5 out of 10. Yeah, I can't look back on that and just, yeah. Right, I kind of count this as a 3-parter. Face of Raven, Heaven Sent and Hellbent. But to keep the fans happy, and it kind of goes downhill by the finale point, yeah, we're just going to say it's single episodes. So obviously Face of Raven is Clara's demise, and it is a demise, but it totally didn't happen after that. Please, can we just pretend it never happened? Hellbent never happened, Clara's death was perfect in Face of Raven. It should never have happened, but anyway, so we have what's her name? Rigsy. Yes, Rigsy has a child now. He's grown up. He's not been a troublemaker from the society. And obviously it was Clara's companion, I think, Rigsy is. And it's so lovely to have him back, even for a demise. And I think Rigsy incredibly works. And Ashilda and Rigsy weren't meant to be in this episode, but they got added in by Moffat. And because these characters, we don't have much feeling for these characters. So he changed them to Ashilda and Rigsy, to people who we know. And the stories work so well. Obviously, this city is refugee camp, really, of people that have landed on Earth and they're just there. And to keep the peace, they've got these little creatures that we saw from the Snowman episode, and we saw these little worm creatures from, I'll probably put an image on the screen to show you what I mean, of these, I don't know how to describe it, lack worms or whatever. Anyway, they're from Series 8 as well, from the Time Heist. Yeah, so we have that. Time Heist, it makes you think of an Endgame, doesn't it? Anyway, back to Face the Raven. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so these nano worm, and these worm things, I'm just going to call them, make them project an image to make you think they look human when they're not. They're all these aliens, Cybermen and Shadoon and Sontarans and stuff. And yeah, then we also have this woman that's meant to have died in the street, but there's war going to break out if we find out who's done it and stuff like that. So they blame it on Rigsy to keep the peace, and everyone wants to believe that. And then her daughter that can also see to the future, the woman who died can see into the future. They have 2 faces, and her daughter has that, but Ashilda disguised as a boy, so she can pretend she can't see into the future, because only women can do that. And we have that whole mystery, and it's quite a nice, interesting thing to see this mystery play out, and who killed this person. when we later learn she's not dead. She's just suspended in animation. They get her out at some point. We'll get back to that in a minute. We also see the Raven kill someone. These two couples, which she says is a Cyberman, the man is, that dies. And he has too much emotion to be a Cyberman, so I doubt that he is a Cyberman. I think it's just a reference. You can take it as you like. Shielder says, would a Cyberman show mercy or whatever, like that. Anyway, this old man runs, the Raven hits him and he dies. And it's quite a shocking thing to see, and it obviously makes an impact for we know what's to come with Clara. The countdown on Riggsy's tattoo is counting down closer and closer to her death, but then we learn you can pass it on. You can pass the tattoo on. So Clara takes it from Riggsy. Later, do they realise once you pass it on, the death is locked on? Like, Shielder was going to get rid of the tattoo for Riggsy. She was never going to hurt him. But then Clara took the tattoo from Riggsy, and now she's locked on. The death is going to happen no matter what, and they can't escape the Raven. And the deal is in place with the Shielder and the Raven. So yeah. We later learn that this whole thing was a trap to get... the Time Lords were threatening the streets, and they needed the 12th Doctor, so they used a shield out, and to keep the peace, she got the 12th Doctor in a trap, which she set out, and obviously 12th Doctor fell for. He can never resist a mystery, and yeah, 12 is anger and fury in this episode, so when he finds out Clara is going to die, he's begging, he's upset, and then he's furious and angry, and then she'll just like, I know the Doctor, and then the 12th Doctor's like, the Doctor's no longer here, you're stuck with me, and it's just quite a nice, shocking thing to see. Clara has to calm him down and make him realise you can't be like this, you have to be better than this, don't let this be the last thing I see you as, and stuff like that, and the Doctor's furious and angry. Yeah, then we have Riggsy saying sorry and stuff, and then obviously he's not relevant as much now, because it's all 12 and Clara's big ending reveal. So we see Riggsy again at the episode, making the TARDIS all a monument to Clara, which is quite nice with his graffiti linking him to Series 8. And then we also have, Riggsy throughout this episode was so nice and interesting. And his family, it makes you love him even more, and he's such a brilliant character. I wish he could return. He's like Craig from the 11th Doctor era, I'd love a sequel, which we never got a sequel to Craig, and then we got a sequel to Riggsy, but we got to see him twice, and it was so lovely to see. And the tattoo moments, and trying to find this secret street was interesting to see, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. Clara throughout this, she's flying on the TARDIS, almost fools. Her addiction is coming full circle now, trying to be like the Doctor. Why can't I be like you? And then 12 goes, you're less breakable than me, I should have done better, and stuff like that. And yeah, we can see the full circle of her addiction, her trying to be like the Doctor, and it actually is her demise. And she is less breakable than him and stuff like that. And 12's furious and angry, and he's Shielder's fault really in some way. And it's his fault for making a Shielder immortal, so it's his fault as well. 12 has that guilt, I guess, of him making Shielder immortal, making Clara's death happen, and also Shielder making Clara's death happen. And her own, Clara's fault for not doing it the Doctor's way and trying to do better than him and stuff like that. Not quite nice, interesting to investigate a good cop and bad cop moments between Clara and 12. And yeah, then we obviously get Clara facing the Raven, and the Raven going into her, let me be brave, and then she dies, it falls on the floor, and I actually had a tear in my eye when I first watched this episode, so I actually kind of cried in this episode, which was, I've never cried before, until Time of the Doctor, I didn't cry until Pete Capaldi's final story, Twice Upon a Time, where he was on the, the Doctor falls, where he's getting shot by Cybermen, that's it. I didn't cry until that. I had like a little tear in my eye for that moment, and a little tear in my eye to see Clara die. That's the only time I've ever cried on a TV show, ever. So, quite a good, and shows you how much I actually like the character, invested in the story, and then it's quite sad how she goes, and her last breath, and then she falls on the floor. And then 12 furious and angry and tells the Shielder, it's a very small universe, so I'm angry with you. Obviously, the universe is small when he next sees her and stuff like that, so he advises to keep out of her way, and Shield teleports into the Time Lords. Out of this story, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Solid, brilliant story, and yes, I gave it a 10 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with it, it's perfect. Now we're on to Heaven Sent. Obviously, the Doctor's trapped in the confession dial for thousands and thousands of years, constant cycle. This is such a brilliant story, and I should have more time to talk about this than I do. But yeah, I really enjoyed this story. I think it's incredible. I didn't have much compassion as when I first watched it. After a second watch, it was so amazing and brilliant. Obviously, you had to take a while to understand that it was constantly in a circle and a loop. Once you leave a room, it turns back to its normal form. You know, if you move the flower plot to another place, when you left that room, that flower plot would move back to its original place, sort of thing. Which obviously has some continuity errors with the blood on the floor, but then that does disappear. And obviously breaking the wall, you know, that wall that is smashing, that's 1,000 times harder than diamond or whatever, you know. And it's like tough, and he's constantly pecking at it, and he's telling a story about the bird constantly chiseling away. Over time it breaks out and stuff like that. Yeah, and he gets around it, but it takes thousands of years to break out this wall that is damaging slowly every time a punch. Yeah, so we have that moment. We also have that wall. That wall is, I guess, not part of the confession dial, so you can break out. The wall doesn't change, so it is a way out in a way, which is a continuity error if you believe that everything changes back to its original form. But anyway, other than that, we have 12 on his own, a one-man story, which is so interesting, so fun to see, and it's never been done before. It's a one-man cast, a one-man episode with obviously the Veil, but the Veil doesn't speak. We have Clara say one thing in his head, you know, then visions in his head, then when he's being investigated and he jumps out the window, you know, and falling to his death. We have them TARDIS moments. Don't you want to know how do I survive? And he's in his head and he's doing his run around in the TARDIS pretending to do things. Then we have Clara's background of her writing on a chalkboard answers for him to reveal, and then eventually says, "Get up off your arse and win." That's the only voice she says in the episode. Everything else is Pete Capaldi, so he has the whole script to himself, which is so interesting. Richard Taylor, I can't pronounce her name. She did a wonderful job with recording this episode, and she did a wonderful job for Series 10 finale and the 12th Doctor's final story. And she did a wonderful job for Hellbent for what it is, you know. She did magnificently well for recording this episode and making the style of the episode so interesting and different and dark. Yeah, obviously the Veil's coming for the Doctor, finally touches him, the Doctor dies, he's burnt on his face, and he's dragging himself across the tower to try and get to the other end. And obviously constantly throughout the episode, he's working out how long the Veil's slow and taking, and they've got cameras of the Veil for how far away it is to make the Doctor scared, and the Time Lords have set this trap up to basically consummate a torture chamber for the living, you know, make the Doctor confess, and he does confess a few things, which is interesting to hear more about the Doctor's confessions, but he won't confess about the hybrid. He wants to, but then in his mind he knows Clara would tell him not to. And he survives. He gets killed off constantly, and then copies of himself get brought back, and then it's a constant loop of the same sort of thing. 12,000 years in the future, 20,000 years in the future, you know, that sort of thing constantly happens. And then when he's into the water, we see all these skulls, and then when there's a skull on the top and he knocks the skull off, every copy is knocked a skull off, so there's hundreds of skulls, so you can see how many copies are constantly happening. You can see how many times the Doctor dies and how many times he's breaking through the wall, and it's getting bigger and it's getting to the point where he can get out, and he doesn't reveal who the name of the hybrid. And then when he gets out of the confession dial, he reveals who the hybrid is, he thinks, which is stupid. He should have just revealed it in there. But, you know, that ending, apart from that ending where he reveals who the hybrid is, you know, why? I know he was in the confession dial trying to save Clara, and then we saw the grief of Clara, and then we were messing with him with a picture of Clara. You know, that torture, that was such a horrible thing to do, and Time Lord really didn't care, and it was Rassilon who put him in there. So the Doctor's furious with Rassilon. We see the Time Lords, we see Gallifrey, and that's such a lovely moment. yeah, I really enjoy the story, and it is another 10 out of 10. It's a solid story. It's a go around, it's a run around, and it's so fun. And Peter Capaldi's acting is phenomenal. Oscar-winning actor. Right, now we're into Hellbent, the finale, Series 9, the hybrid. We've had little references for hybrid constantly throughout, even from the very beginning episode of Series 9 with the hybrid and Davros, and then the hybrid of Osgood, and the hybrid of Zygon, the hybrid of all sorts. We've had so many hybrids in this story, and the Maya and the human, and we've had hybrid between Clara and 12, and the hybrid between Missy and 12. There's so many hybrids, and the main hybrid of the Time Lord and the Dalek, all that sort of stuff. And it all is a mystery, and we still don't even have a clue who the hybrid are, which is so annoying. This is why the letdown of the finale is, what is the hybrid? We haven't got an answer. It's just a conclusion mystery, and it's meant to apparently be Clara and 12, we think. Obviously, the 20 minutes into this story is incredible and amazing. We're getting there. The 12 Doctors furious with the Time Lords. He's gone to his home. The barn, which actually survived the Time War, incredibly. The Doctor's barn as a kid, and the woman that I do believe the same woman from End of Time Part 1 and 2. The one from Wilfred, the woman from the End of Time, when she's holding her face like this, with Rassilon, and warning the 10th Doctor to shoot the machine, not Master or Rassilon, from the End of Time. I do believe it's the same woman. Yeah, she's there, and she's making the beds for the kids just in case they ever come back again. She's nice and sweet of her, and obviously she cares about the Doctor, and she knows the Doctor as a kid and stuff like that, and then she realises it is the Doctor and stuff like that. The Doctor's as a war hero, all the Time Lords, the poor Time Lords, Gallifreyans I suppose you're meant to call them, come up to him and watch him eat soup and stuff like that, bless them, and they just admire this godlike Time Lord. And then the council come, and they're trying to get the Doctor and trick him in and war and threaten him with guns and all sorts, until the point the High Council come and he doesn't listen, and then finally Rassilon comes, then he listens, he stands, he creates a line, and then Rassilon's trying to put a friend out. It's like putting a shake hand. Toplox goes, drops the confession dial, get off my planet. You've tortured me in this confession dial. It's you. Rassilon did this, and Rassilon's the cause of the Time War. You did this. But at the end of the universe, where the Time Lords live now, at the end of the universe, Rassilon is the cause in some way, and 12 is furious with Rassilon for the way he'd been treated in the confession dial and onwards, and yeah, he's just not a fan of Rassilon anymore, and he's furious with him. To the point where the High Council, Rassilon gets furious and about to kill the 12th Doctor, and the whole army miss him, so they don't want to kill the Time Lord. And they have a saying of the Doctor and the people that he worked with in the Time War. They all joined the Doctor's side, and then we have the main person, the Time Lord's General, I'm going to say. He Ken Bones, I think it is. He joins the Doctor's side, so everyone's against Rassilon, and then the ships come, and he's like, as usual, General, you send for reinforcements, and 12th Doctor's like, no, I did, with the sonic glasses, and Rassilon gets kicked off the planet, and that's it. Rassilon's gone, and I think it's Rassilon who's been played by Game of Thrones actor, which would have been lovely if we got to see Rassilon from the End of Time. I think that would have been incredible, but apparently he was filming while they were doing that, so he couldn't do it. So they obviously made him regenerate. Then, talking about regeneration, the General gets regenerated into a woman, not just a woman, a coloured woman, just to show that you can change into colour, gender, anything's fluid and different in Time Lords. We get that. We don't need to see it. This is such a forced regeneration, I would love, I think Idris Elba, hold on, I haven't got it. Anyway, Idris Elba, who played this amazing detective, he is incredible and brilliant, I think he'd be amazing, brilliant. Coloured Doctor, I think that would work so well. I'd love to see what a Coloured Doctor that is amazing as Luther, the person who played Luther in the detective show. No, I think that would be incredible. And obviously, I don't think that will happen now because he's in big films, and when you get to big film stages, they don't tend to come. Benedict Cumberbatch would be another amazing one. Anyway, but where was I? Yes, so the regeneration was forced. The Doctor got back to the High Council. We have the person for his Sisterhood of Kana in it for random reasons, and then Face Me Boy and stuff like that, and then the Sisterhood can't get Rassilon's like, what are you even doing here? You know, you're not meant to be here, and Time Lords are meant to be here, and then they're just like, we're here. So the Sisterhood of Kana here for no reason. They have little references to the Doctor when he was a child, and he ran down these the Eye of Harmony, and we get to see the Matrix and stuff like that. So the Matrix sort of zone, and we have all these from the Time War, I guess, all these creatures from the Time War trying to get to the Matrix. We have the Weeping Angels, Cybermen, the Daleks all trapped down there, so little cameos, references there. Then we have the Matrix itself, and the Doctor trying to break in. He did that when he was a child. We have a nice moment with the Sisterhood of Khan. Were you being cruel, or were you just being cowardly? And showing the Doctor's broken all the rules he's lived by. He saves Clara. Clara's death has just been wiped from Face of Raven, and it has. You can say, oh, she got brought back into her time. She lived for a long time. She got her own TARDIS. She flew off and had her own adventures for a long time. Let's go to Gallifrey the long way round, she says. You know, she's done adventures, so her death isn't that bad now. You know, she's stuck looking as amazing ever. I suppose if you get a paper cut, does that change time? I suppose she's very vulnerable. She gets a bruise or a cut, or it's going to change time, unless we suddenly see an updated Face of Raven where, I don't know, Clara gets stabbed, and she's like, okay, we need to get back to the Time Lords and change me back and stuff. So we have Clara all destroyed and beaten. One moment it's normal Clara, the second the Raven hits, it's all beaten up Clara. That would be interesting. Very dark as well. Doctor wouldn't do that, but you know, you just think if Clara got a paper cut or something like that, or just a knife in the throat or something like that, time would change. She would look completely different to what she was meant to look like, and it's very risky for her to travel in time. And yeah, anyway, continuity aside, Clara goes off in her own TARDIS. Clara gets brought back to brought back to life. The Doctor's trying to threaten and kills the General because the General's stopping him in his way. General regenerates into a woman. Doctor, not Doctor, Time Lord. Then we have, we have a new TARDIS, a classic looking TARDIS. We try and escape. The Doctor tries to escape Clara. Clara works out he's been travelling. He's been trapped in a confession dial for thousands of years and torture and stuff like that. And he's like, I have a duty of care, which is a nice, lovely scene we get to see. And then we have our own minds on what was said. She's like, let's have a talk. And then the camera goes off. So you can imagine what Clara and 12 talked about. And obviously 12 forgets, and then we learn at the start of the episode, we think it's maybe from Series 7, you know, then multiple Claras throughout Series 7. It could be one of those. It's not, it's the real Clara Oswald. And yeah, she's just pretending to be someone else to see the Doctor one last time. The Doctor's telling the story of how they ended the relationship, and he can't remember her. And then, the Doctor goes off, finds me has a conversation with 12. Me's the last existing being in the universe. It's all destroyed, which is a bit of a letdown because Captain Jack's not there, you know? All these immortals, and Captain Jack must be dead and stuff like that. So he is the face of Bo, I guess. And then we have me, the only living thing, and then 12 Doctor. So the Doctor even dies then if me's the only living thing left. Which we will never see me again, so yeah. What's the point? The reveal of the hybrid is all a mystery. I talked about at the start of this review. Yeah, not good. And then Clara finds out the Doctor's going to wipe her memory to save Clara and she can live on, and Time Lords will never find her. But Clara doesn't want that. Clara wants to live on. So the Doctor something needs to change, and the Doctor gets wiped instead. They press the button, backfires on the Doctor starts forgetting Clara. Like Donna from Series 4, a bit less sad because it's not that good of an episode as much as it is meant to be. It's an average fun, okay episode. Like, it's definitely not a finale-based episode. And yeah, I'm just rushing through it because there's not much else to say. Clara says goodbye. She has her own TARDIS, and Me travels with Clara, and we would find out the person in the diner is actually Clara's TARDIS. So maybe she saw 11 then. The diner and the TARDIS when Amy and Roy were there. Maybe and they get a reference in the episode for 12 as well. 12 goes off. 12 finds a TARDIS. She has the graffiti from Rigsy from the other episodes, and then gets his TARDIS, gets a new Sonic, puts on his outfit as a doctor, and off we go for more adventures with 12. Clara and Me travel off, and they go different ways. Yeah, Time Lords are left at the end of the universe. We have no clue how they got at the end of the universe. Sister Decana survived at the end of the universe, and I don't know who the hybrid is. 8 out of 10. Just, yeah. Join me next week for Series 10. I'm going to give my opinions, reviews. This is a very long episode. I decided to do this all in one video. I thought I was going to split the videos always. But yeah, I just thought I'd just wrap it all up in one video, to be fair. We haven't done that before. You can see why it's going to be a long-ass video. This video will be. If you stuck around to the end, well done. And comment, I don't know, hybrid. Comment hybrid if you managed to make it to the end. That'd be interesting. Yeah, give this video a thumbs up, like, get the bell for notifications for more videos. But yeah, we're going to talk about Series 10, we're going to talk about Peaky Blinders era, and we're going to talk about Peaky Blinders' final episode next week, so stick around for that. And yeah, comment down below what you thought of Series 9, and subscribe, because I've got a lot more planned. Yeah, sorry if this is a rushed video. It's not, I don't think this video is as good as my other videos with reviewing episodes. I feel like I've rushed bits and dragged bits out, but yeah, I'll probably do better for Series 10, seeing as it's my favourite series, and I'll just talk on constantly about that. So yeah, join around next week for that. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.